a big issue in the news lately has been stock trades by the Federal Reserve. We had a particular member, I believe it was Richard Clarida, who moved money from a bond fund to a stock fund the day before an announcement by the Federal Reserve. Elizabeth Warren made a similar move, but not near one of these catalyst dates. We've had other members of the Federal Reserve also make moves in stock portfolios, whether it's to different funds or to different stocks or whatever. We have seen such drama. And what we have over here is now new information that Jerome Powell may have traded potentially up to $1 million right before a catalyst event. Now, Jerome Powell so far has not been part of sort of any, scrutiny up until now and this disclosure. So let's see what we've got here. How big a deal is Powell's $1 million stock trade? There's no way that insider knowledge would have helped Jerome Powell's one stock trade. In fact, his timing was lousy. Ooh, interesting. John throws it all out there in the summary. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. A Journal of American Progressive Left has published a piece highlighting that Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, sold between 1 and 5 million in stock on October 1st of last year. He did so through a Vanguard fund that tracks the total market. How big of a deal is this? Kind of also worth noting that the stock market just barely was getting out of the disaster of the September sell-off last year around October 1st. And remember that we walked basically right into the election drama around, I want to say it was week 2 and 3, maybe it was even 1 through 3 of October of last year that were kind of a disaster right before the election. It was a perfect opportunity to go shopping in stocks and took big advantage of shopping and buying the dip then. And it looks like Jerome Powell kind of bought before that. So let's see here. The full disclosure can be found here. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and look at the full disclosure. So there it is. J. Powell, I certify the statements are true and correct. And so what do we got here? We have T. Rowe Price Equity Index. Value, okay, these are just the assets that we have. So he's got about $500,000 to $1 million in a T. Rowe Price, essentially something that tracks the S&P 500. Another $1 to $5 million in an S&P 500 BlackRock index, and then a SPDR index, 100 to 250,000. So he's pretty much all in on SPY. Kind of interesting. Spouses, employment. Video production here, value not readily accessible. Okay, so where are the moves here? Let's see if these are other assets that he has. I'm surprised. I thought Jerome Powell would have a whole bunch more assets to put on his disclosure here. A lot of these are smaller sort of individual bonds that he's got here, $2,500 to $5,000. Relatively small numbers for J. Powell, in my opinion. Then here we go, mutual life insurance cash value, 100 to 1 mil. Okay, Vanguard total stock market index fund, 1 million to 5. Here we go. Here's where the larger numbers are. iShares Russell 3000, 15,000 to 50,000. And here we go, transactions. So really the transaction that was most interesting was right here. The sale. What? He sold the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index on October 1st between $1 million and $1 million and $5 million worth. Why would he sell? That's interesting. So he actually sold a chunk here October 1st. It doesn't look like he rebought based on this. Oh, well, here we go. What is this? Oh, here was some buying. And he didn't. No, this is a sale as well. That is interesting. We don't actually get dates for some of these other purchases, which are kind of annoying. We have all these endnotes that we'd have to go through to find them. That's not so ideal. And in fact, I don't even know. What's the footnote here? I don't even know that we're going to get dates. See, none of these have actual dates. It just says see endnote. That's quite interesting. So, gifts and travel reimbursements, liabilities, transactions. Okay, the section does not include things having to do with personal residence, treasury bonds, things like this. Okay, got it. It's not a big deal. Other discuss. There's nothing on the dates for the purchases, so it's a little kind of odd that you would see Oh, and he closed his life insurance policy in 2020. Lots of liquidating. But anyway, so I wonder if he bought a big house or something like that, liquidated or something like that. That would be interesting. But why would you sell October 1st and September 21st? I agree. I think this timing is actually pretty lame. Where are your buys, man? I mean, you got all these smaller purchases here, but there was no big purchase here. That's very odd. J. Powell paper-handed. Did he buy a house? Let's see. Jerome Powell purchase house. Let's just see. Okay. Well, thank you, Safari. Jerome Powell purchases house. Let's see if he did. No. There's really no talk about him purchasing. You think that would be news if he bought a house, right? So he didn't buy a house. I wonder what he did with his money. Let's see what the opinion article makes of this before we're still waiting on United earnings, by the way. It looks like Fed chairperson, a rich man from his career in private equity, holds an impeccably dull investment portfolio. I kind of agree. Like, I'm shocked. It's not that large. It's smaller than expected. Apparently, he got out earlier than expected. Virtually all passive and spread across asset classes, does not appear to have done much trading, barely, small purchases, and a sale that looks like it's either rebalancing or some sort of income to reinvest. Yeah, it's odd. One big trade was on October 1st. It covered the whole market, so no inside knowledge of particular sectors would have helped. Yeah, this is when the trade occurred right here, and the market took off like 33% since then. So, very odd sale. Lousy timing. Completely agree with that. 35% gain on a good chunk of money. So, he's already publicly addressed his intentions in August and September of that year. Yeah, he should have been keen to buy and not sell. No kidding. The American Prospect, this is that left-leaning group, the liberal group. They put together a narrative that makes the transaction seem more sinister. I don't know. I'm looking at the disclosures and having been in this market every single day here. This seems stupid. Yeah, man. There you go. J. Powell sold and got all in on BTC and Ethereum. No, he would have to disclose that. So unless he's not disclosing it, which I'm not suggesting, things couldn't be hidden, he would have to disclose that as an asset. That would be absolutely hilarious. Could you imagine if Jerome Powell liquidated his stocks and went all in on crypto? Oh my gosh, that would be the funniest thing ever. Fox Business, popular with conservatives, followed the story and headlined, J. Powell sold up to $5 million in stock in 2020 before market tanked. That, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe, yeah, they're referencing maybe the little bit of wobbling before the election. That's nonsense. So it looks like the left group is nonsense. Fox News was nonsense on this headline. It sounds like the media is just being dumb, as usual. The real issue here is the Fed officials have to be worried about conflicts of interest. Powell, whether it needs to be reappointed or not, blah, blah, blah. I just want to know where the money went, honestly. I want to know where the money went. Did he go cash heavy? I mean, you'd think it would show something. I mean, well, then again, you don't have to show purchases. You would have to show assets. So maybe, does he show assets? Yeah, cash. I think he went to cash. Oh my gosh. Why? That's the only thing that makes sense. Because otherwise he would have had to show a purchase. So he probably went to cash for some reason. You know, he's probably just, I mean, he's never professed to be a trader. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I like J. Powell, but yeah, he's got a bunch of money sitting around in cash. I don't, he doesn't have to disclose a purchase for cash. And there are no purchases here under transactions for anything close to that amount. I mean, you've got some money maybe here, $50,000 to $100,000. But again, you had more sales over here. I mean, he sold a bunch of stuff in 2020. I think he cashed out. He's just like, F it. You know, that's about the extent that I could see of this. And do I think it was sinister? Not really. If anything, it was stupid. But then again, hey, maybe for his own peace of mind, he's just like, look, I can't take it anymore. Like, it's too stressful. We've rebounded a good amount. I want to get ready to potentially retire. I'm just going to sit on some cash. That's the only thing that I could really expect here. And so, you know, in my opinion, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with this. I think this was probably a personal decision for J. Powell. And I'm not going to complain about it like Fox or that liberal left group that implied it was sinister. Just my thoughts, just my 2 cents on it. Anyway, that's J. Powell for you.